check me out trying to have an intro and some sound effects and trying to make this channel look worth a damn. So, welcome to episode 7 of the Vanilla Falcon Strikes, which how long this channel has been up, and this is only the 7th episode. That tells you how turned off I was by how things were going with my football team at the time, and with the people I was interacting with, and all the things that go into being a football fan. So one thing I tweeted about a little while ago is one thing I've decided to do with this channel. I'm definitely going to be myself. Of course, you know, as I've decided to leave the Falcons fan base and follow Matt Ryan to Indianapolis, and I'm going to do a whole video on that later. I've already got it planned out. I got to be true to myself, and part of being true to myself is, you know, griping about things that are happening out in the world, even if it doesn't turn out to be sports related. I want this channel to focus on sports primarily, but it's not always going to, and that's just the reality. So this episode, I want to talk about the fuck is going on with gas. And not just what's going on with gas. We could talk all day about the minutia of where oil is coming from and how much oil companies actually make off a gallon of gas, and, you know, how this person might be responsible for that part of the price hike and this person might be responsible for that part of the price hike. But either way about it, right now, we're looking at gasoline being way too high and inflation being way too high. And I almost made this episode, almost titled it, Let Them Eat Cake, because that is the response we're seeing to this surge in prices that is hurting everyone. And the things I've got on the screen here, you can see I've got, you know, an example here of, you know, how much people are paying at the gas tank, but also some of the idiocy we've seen in the media and people who are trying to hold water for the political left to try to make it either okay or not their fault that, you know, gas has been going up steadily ever since Biden took office. You can see, of course, CBS News, U.S. economy has been hit with blah, blah, blah because of Ukraine. Bullshit. All this was happening before Ukraine, man. Y'all, I mean, you can't wag the dog that badly. People are not that stupid. I mean, some of them, you know, I'm not going to name names, but there's some people out there that are going, yeah, I didn't see a single penny of gasoline increases until Ukraine. Oh boy, Kool-Aid drinking. So one thing we've seen on the back end of this too has been the advice from people on the left. You know, hey, just take the bus. Just don't buy in bulk. Go buy an electric vehicle. Bro, Biden said that again this weekend. Like, just go buy an electric vehicle. Like, that's the easiest fucking thing to do. Everybody's got money laying around to get rid of whatever it is they're driving, that they've loved driving for how long or however much money they've already spent on it, paying on it, and just go buy an EV. It's not that hard. I mean, you know, anyone can go buy an EV. Notwithstanding, there's no uniformity in how EVs are charged. There's not enough charging stations around. You know, we're trying to make this, you know, this gasoline thing go away with electric vehicles that we're not set up infrastructure-wise to support. Even if the American people had the money to go buy the electric vehicles. And then, of course, we've also seen the ridiculousness of some people in the Biden administration actually proposing that they start giving a $300 per month gasoline stimulus to the American people. Like, they're just going to start supporting people's fuel costs which, I mean, hello, socialism, McFly. I mean, what kind of government dependency scheme is that? I mean, we know it's a government dependency scheme, but good God, are you really going to let them do that and just start further wrecking the American economy because you think that this is somehow giving you free money? I hope not. I hope you're not that dumb to think, the government subsidizing your existence is free money and that it's not going to come not just from, the big businesses and the richy riches and, the golden parachute people out there. It's going to come from your boss. It's going to come from people that, sign your paychecks. It's not just going to be corporate fat cats who get hit with things like that. I hate to be the one to have to inform you. So, getting into the let them eat cake thing, though, the ridiculousness of the responses, I want to make one thing very, very clear. Let's bring up the picture here of Chuck fucking Schumer. This is from 2018 when Donald Trump was still in office. Okay, and look how high those gas prices were getting. And Chuck Schumer went out there and, President Trump, you have got to do something about these gas prices, President Trump. You've got to tame the big oil fat cats, blobbity blobbity, harump, right? Okay, so the Democrats, big push in 2018 was, somehow Trump was responsible for raising gas prices and Trump needed to do something about it. And Trump fucking did. Now, of course, the same people in the media trying to say that Biden had nothing to do with gas prices going up since Trump left office. Also the same people that tried to tell you Trump had nothing to do with the gas prices going down. But let's look at the stark comparison. Okay, let's look at the comparison. When they went out there in 2018 and said, hey, Donald Trump, you got to do something, something got done. You can try to spin it, you can twirl it, whatever the fuck you want to do, drink some Kool-Aid, however you want to try to frame the argument. The fact of the matter is that something got done. And by the time Trump left office, in most places, gasoline was less than $2 a gallon. Now transpose that against what we're seeing from the left today, 2 years into the Biden administration, with gasoline prices going through the roof. Their response has been, let them eat cake. Oh, you guys, just, let's get Schumer out of the way here. Just take the bus. Go buy an electric vehicle. Buy less. Nobody said this would be fun. This is the price that we pay to support Ukraine. That difference right there should tell you. Now, we could go into the whole thing that this was actually part of the Democratic Party platform going into the election to raise fuel prices, to try to force people into getting off of fossil fuel as if we are ready for that. And I don't mean we're ready for it like, man, I've driven my truck like this, my Ford F-150 like this with gasoline for years and I'm not ready to change. Now, I'm not talking about it. I'm talking about the fact that the technology isn't ready. The infrastructure isn't there. Okay? That's what I mean when I say we're not ready to get off of fossil fuel. Elon Musk will be the first one to tell you. We are not ready to get off of fossil fuel. We don't have the infrastructure. The technology isn't where it needs to be. The batteries aren't efficient enough. The prices for these things are still too high. They're still developing it. Okay? And Biden recently as well made the proclamation again that, hey, this is a great time to start forcing people off of fossil fuel. Let's force them into electric vehicles, blah, blah, blah. That's almost enough to make you think this was planned. And while we're talking about how they wanted to make this a Ukraine thing and they want to blame this on what's happening with Ukraine, we still need to get around to answering why Hunter Biden, who, we now know the whole laptop thing was indeed a real thing, and we were certainly lied to by the media, who, they don't understand why we don't trust them anymore. We were lied to by them about the laptop. we still don't have an answer to the question of what the fuck Hunter Biden was doing on the board of Burisma. That's a legit question. I understand Trump was impeached over asking the question, which should also bother you. I mean, you can debate whether he overstepped his bounds as president, wanting to find out what the fuck was going on there, but we, the American people, do indeed deserve an answer of why the vice president of the United States had his son on the board of Ukraine's oil company when he had no business being on the board of any kind of company like that, right? This is vice president and now president of the United States, right? So we wanted to know all this stuff about Trump. And when Trump asked a question, oh, you can't ask that question, Trump. You can't hold their military support hostage, which, when Obama and Biden were in office to begin with, they just wanted to send Ukraine rubber bullets. And when Trump sent the actual military aid to Ukraine, of course, the media decided to put articles out saying that's not what Ukraine really needs. They really need less lethal weapons, going back to the Obama-Biden thing to make that look like the stronger thing. And of course, now here we are with a Russian invasion of Ukraine, and we've definitely got to send them actual lethal military hardware. And the first president to actually do that was Trump. And he was impeached for asking about Hunter Biden, which somehow we've gotten away from the idea that we still need to answer that question. And we're talking about sending more money to Ukraine, and we've still got, billions of dollars we've sent to them in the past that have not been accounted for. And I'm not saying we shouldn't help Ukraine, but these are questions we should be asking. These are questions we deserve answers to. Kind of like a month or two back when I can't remember who it was right now off the top of my head, said, Elon Musk could fix world poverty by donating, this many dollars. And Elon Musk said, sure, I'll do it. Let's just set it up with transparency. Let's make sure that we show the people where every dime goes. And mysteriously, no one ever decided to work with Elon Musk to make that happen. So there's questions out there that need to be answered, people. But the question you need to ask yourself when we're getting ready to come into another election cycle, and I've got thoughts about the whole, what is a woman thing that's been going around. You got to be a biologist to be a woman. That's a question enough. But we're talking about your pocketbooks now. We're talking about your budgets. We're talking about how people get by. We're talking about whether you're going to be able to afford to go to the game, right? When Matt Ryan finally does come back around to Atlanta and I have the opportunity to go watch him play. I've never seen Matt Ryan play because my budget has never allowed me to go buy a ticket to go watch Matt Ryan play, right? So I'm kind of looking forward to now. I'm a little bit better off in life than I was before. And I'm looking forward to now, hey, I want to go watch Matt Ryan play. Y'all going to have to give me a second. So, I want to buy a ticket. You want to buy a ticket to watch Matt Ryan play, right? You're a Colts fan watching this. You want to buy a ticket to watch Matt Ryan play. Holy crap, we got Matt Ryan. I want to buy a ticket to watch him play. And then you look at how much a ticket is. Holy shit. And you look at how much gas is. Even more holy shit. So, when you start thinking about those things and we get into the next election cycle and you start thinking about, where the rubber actually hits the road in your pocketbook, you just think back to when Chuck Schumer, let's bring him up again, to when Chuck Schumer demanded Trump get something done for the American people. And no matter how you want to spin it, whatever, something was indeed done. And then you look at how Joe Biden and his associates are handling the raising prices now. Basically, let them eat cake. Just think about that. I know a lot of you are not going to change, your political party over something like this, because there's a lot of issues out there. But man, you've got to admit that that's a pretty hardcore difference between actually getting the price of gas down and telling us just to fucking deal with it. Go buy an electric vehicle, go ride the bus, ride a bicycle to work, carpool. I've said it before, not on this channel. It's the first time I've saying it on this channel, but I've said it on social media before. There is no cause for which people like that don't think we can suffer enough. And I'm going to say that again. There is no cause for which they don't think we can suffer enough. Whether it's the riots in 2020, where they thought the suffering was justified, or any other thing that goes on. And just like we're seeing in Ukraine now, it's the price that we have to pay. Gasoline prices are just the price we have to pay. And it's a stark difference to how when Trump was in office and they said you got to do something. So that's all I wanted to talk about on this episode of the Vanilla Falcon Stripes. I hope you liked it. And even if you didn't, I hope it makes you think. I hope you'll subscribe to the channel, because we are going to start, as football season picks up, we're going to start digging more into how Matt Ryan transitions in to being a part of the Indianapolis Colts. We're also going to go over aspects like loyalty, as I've been affected by that, the way that I've transitioned from another team, and how people react to when you change a team. And we're even going to deal with women's sports and things like that. We're going to step into all kind of territory here on the Vanilla Falcon Strikes, and I am going to remain the Vanilla Falcon, and we will talk about that in the video on loyalty. So I hope you stick around. I hope you hit that like and subscribe, and I hope we get to chat in the comments. But remember, really negative, I don't mind somebody having a different opinion than me, but people with really negative and just harsh comments, I'm never going to let that get published on my channel. I hold all comments for review, and no one will ever see it. So if all you've got to say is some kind of trolling crap, it's never coming to the light of day. I want to talk to people. I want to have a discussion, but we're not going to have a kindergarten discussion on this channel. So anyway, like, subscribe, Vanilla Falcon, out.